this show, as Rob has kind of outlined already, it has been getting a lot of criticism online during the show, right up until the main event. Like, Rob isn't just like coming on here spitting out takes out of nowhere. This is what a lot of people have been saying online. Like I said, up until the main event. And to be honest, it's not that the matches weren't awful. And again, they weren't all as great as I wanted some of them to be. But it wasn't like there was car crashes going on left, right, and center. You know, it just felt like, I thought from so much of the show last night, that WWE didn't capture the magic of WrestleMania, bro. It's just one of those.
There were accounts that love WWE with their heart and soul on the timeline, being like, "Yo, what the fuck is happening on this pay per view?" Like,
I seen people calling it Raw and stuff, bro. It was
Niggas was talking about y'all niggas and niggas paid $1,000 to go watch Saturday Night Raw, Saturday Night SmackDown.
Bro, it's like I said, it was getting aggressive on the timeline. Like I said, online, a lot of people not happy with it, bro. And like I said, I felt like it didn't quite capture the magic of WrestleMania, which I guess is kind of like a cop-out answer. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, it is one of those intangible things. Like, we can kind of like pick out a few of the things. Like, I did think that, you know, like, sure, we can pick out some things. Like, I didn't think they went all out with the entrances like they could have, and I kind of was like disappointed in that sense. It lacked, like, the show with that lacked a bit of pomp and circumstance. It almost felt like they blew the budget on the stage, because the stage was amazing, to give credit where credit's due. Which, like I said, the stage was amazing. We can talk about how the matches didn't look very great on paper. We could talk about how the builds could have been better, and I'm sure we will kind of stumble across those topics, you know. But it just didn't feel like WrestleMania for like 80% of it, you know.
Last night didn't feel like a WrestleMania at all. Now, I see people talking about it was Monday to Saturday Night Raw, Saturday Night SmackDown, Saturday Night's main event. It felt like a Saturday Night's main event. But literally, that's why it didn't feel like WrestleMania, Monty. There was no special entrances, barely any special entrances. Oh, you know what the special entrances were, Monty? They were
someone pulling up in a it was someone pulling up in a car, bro.
Exactly, somebody pulling up in a Rolls Royce.
That's weak, man.
That's
a $1 billion company, you know.
So fucking LA Knight pulling up in a Maserati. All these niggas pulling up in cars, and it's just like, where's WrestleMania?
But I was waiting. So it's like the first match happens, and it's like Jey had like the people come out onto the stage with the flags and stuff, and he made his entrance through the crowd, you know? Like, I wouldn't class that. It was different to normal, but I wouldn't class that as like a big special WrestleMania entrance. I just wouldn't, bro. Then there was just nothing. There was like, everyone was just having these normal entrances. And like, LA Knight pulled up in a car. I think Charlotte pulled up in a car. The best entrance, and the only one that I'd class as like a real WrestleMania entrance, was Tiffany Stratton's, bro, which I did think was really cool. But it's like, we didn't get anywhere near enough of that sort of stuff, you know, the pomp and circumstance again, bro. It's just, that's a big part of the magic of WrestleMania. So like, just to kind of sway off topic a little, well, not even off topic, but just kind of divert a little bit. It's like, my girl knows it's WrestleMania this weekend, and I'm not seeing her till Tuesday. And one of the main things she said to me, when I see you on Tuesday, is show me all the cool entrances. Bro, I've got nothing to show her. I got nothing to show her, bro. I got nothing.
You're just like, well,
I got nothing. Pocket's empty, bro.
Well, what happened was, see, where are all the cool entrances? Oh no, but didn't have no real cool entrances. But look at this cool Jade video package. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, they're just, yo, you know what this reminds me of? No, because even at WrestleMania 31, like, John Cena's special entrance, right, was just a video package about, yo, this is America. America rules. America really, really good. But then you saw Rusev, like, 10 minutes beforehand, coming out in a fucking tank. Like,
that's what I'm
saying.
saying.
A whole fucking tank. And it's just like, I don't care about your fucking Maserati, nigga. I don't give a fuck. You see, like, I could go to California right now and see, like, 8 niggas driving a Maserati. Oh, my God, so fucking cool. Like, I want pop. I want circumstance. Why didn't LA Knight have some sort of fucking, even, like, if he had the big blow up fucking letters like Miz had at WrestleMania when he did the LA Knight shit, or like when New Day used to come out of the cereal boxes. That would have been fucking cool. But like, nigga, we're just driving cars. If I wanted to watch a nigga drive a car, I'd watch NASCAR. I don't watch NASCAR. So like, I don't understand. Like, it felt last night with WrestleMania. We haven't even gotten to the matches. We haven't even gotten to the matches yet at all. And it's just like, I seen somebody say last night, "Oh, AEW ruined the perception of pay-per-views because they think you're supposed to go all out on pay-per-view." Nigga, it is WrestleMania. What are you talking about? It's not like this is Payback or fucking Great Balls of Fire or fucking Stomping Grounds.
Fastlane.
WrestleMania. WrestleMania. And niggas are sitting here talking about why they think you're supposed to go all out and super hard and crazy at WrestleMania. Like, what? What? What are we talking about?
It was crazy, bro. Like I said, they They did a couple cars, then they did the Tiffany one, then obviously the main event. CM Punk coming out with Heyman, with coming out to Cult of Personality live performance as well. Like that was really cool, you know. But like I said, we're talking the main chunk of the card up until the main event. Because even Seth Rollins' entrance was kind of cool. I won't class it as like a special WrestleMania one, but it was cool. It was cool pay-per-view worthy, big match worthy, you know. But it weren't quite a special WrestleMania one. You get me? You weren't like. The top two, I'd say, were clearly Punk and Tiffany Stratton, like clearly. But yeah, man, I do think they were kind of lacking there. But the thing is, like Rob would say, like WWE are broke. They're not broke. They're just greedy, bro. Like, if it is true that they are looking to like tighten the budgets on the pyro and the entrances and stuff, applying that principle to WrestleMania is cheap as fuck, bro. It's WrestleMania, fam. Like we gotta blow the budget, bro.
But don't be charged if you're gonna do that. Don't charge niggas $1,000 to sit in the seat. What the fuck?
Just Triple H sitting up there last night talking about, we set a record for a one night show in WWE history, the biggest gate ever, and you know, I think he even did like the thing where he looked at his watch, he was like, I think that's gonna last about 24 hours. It's just like, bro, fam,
I don't get it.
Come on, bro.
Oh my god, bro. Like I don't understand, bro. Like, yo, whoever these current producers and agents are, it's time. Yo, you learn to leave the football before the football leaves you. All right, it's time. Yo, TJ Wilson, you had a great run.
Come on, bro.
Bobby Roode,
anyway.
You had a great run.
We'll talk about some producers and agents as we go along, I think. But the gist of what I was saying anyway, the main point is it didn't really feel like Mania until the main event, which I did feel delivered big, and it also got the big memorable angle at the end as well. So they did end the show on a big high note, which is obviously the most important thing, to be honest, bro. It's the most important part of the show to get right, and they did, but the undercard was just lacking in certain aspects, in my opinion. Not a bad show, but far, far from being one of like the top great WrestleManias. So let's get into it. All right, Gunther defending the World Heavyweight Championship against the 2025 Royal Rumble winner, Jey Uso. I was going into this really hopeful, like really, really hopeful. I was like, I know what Jey Uso's limitations are. Like, I'm not going to lie to myself about him as a singles performer, you know. But I also know the stratosphere that the ring general Gunther can take mans to, you know. And with Jey, we've even seen glimpses of that. Like, they've had some good matches in the past. Like, I think the Saturday night main event might be the best one. I think that's the one that we all circled as the best one. I can't remember, my memory's shit. But they've had a really, really good match, and I just wanted this Mania match to be kind of like an extension of that version, you know. And what they went for in this match was they got the layout all wrong. Like, I think they got the layout completely wrong. That's why I was kind of like a little hurt when I seen that our guy Bobby Roode was producing this, you know, because what they went for basically was the story of kind of like Jey has now reached a point where he can go toe to toe with Gunther now, and that's basically what they did. They went back and forth. Gunther would hit a big bomb, and you'd think, okay, he's going to settle into the heat now, and Jey would then get one back, and they'd go back and forth, and they'd go back and forth like that. And I was just really waiting and hoping for Gunther to settle into one of his great brutal heat segments, you know, and basically just beat the shit out of Jey. Kill all hope, make it look like all hope is lost, have Jade staring at death's door in the face, you know, draw it out, bro. Like, I'm waiting for this part, like this meat of the match, you know, and it just doesn't come. Gunther does eventually work a bit of a heat segment after he hits Jey with the belt, you know, like he cheats, he gets the belt, hits Jey with the belt, and he gets a little bit of a heat segment, but even Jey comes back from that relatively quick as well, bro, and it's just like, let Gunther be Gunther, bro, and beat this babyface up. You know what I'm saying? Just let him beat the shit out of this babyface, bro. Make the fans really just get behind Jey, because the fans are behind Jey, and there was even in the tiny little bits of heat in these, the fans would get behind Jey every single time. You get me? So it's like there's never any worry of the crowd dying if Gunther took too much control. That was never ever going to be an issue. It's not an issue with someone like Gunther anyway, because he's so good at the heat segments, bro. He makes you he makes you like invest in him because his offense just looks so good. Again, we just didn't really get this. Jey's comebacks were happening too frequently and too often and too quickly. And again, we didn't really get to see Gunther just beat Gunther. You know, I think Ibu said yesterday, like, it would have been cool if, like, you know, Jey's on death's door, Jey's on death's door, Gunther's got him in a Boston crab, it looks like he might tap, Jimmy comes out, you know, and spurs him on and motivates him, he's like, come on, Jey, or something like that, you know. That kind of emotional that emotional level was never like reached in this match, and I think it really needed to, and it should have, and it really would have benefited. I think it's what I was waiting for, it's what I was hoping for, and we never really got it. But yeah, like I said, Gunther got a little bit of heat after the belt shot, but again, that wasn't really enough. Jay's big comeback in the end was like Jay hitting all of Gunther's moves and shit like that. Do you know what I mean? Like he like the powerbomb actually looked really cool. You know, like there is holes in the way Jay's offense looks, bro. Like his spear looks like shit. You know, sometimes his strikes can be a little loose and stuff like that. You know, like I'm not, again, like I said at the start of my review, like I know the limitations of Jay's offense, bro, and his in ring work. You get me,
but there's a way.
I feel you play to it. You know, there's a way to play to it.
The Saturday Night's main event match. I know a lot of people didn't like that match. I'm talking about the latest one, the Saturday Night's main event one. Like I know people really didn't like that match. That match was really good. Like despite all of Jay's like cons, that match was really, really good. And I just don't. I don't know, but continue. Continue before I give my thoughts.
Yeah, it just didn't. It never reached that like emotional peak for me, but I really wanted it to. And I didn't think it was like a bad match. I just thought it was poorly laid out. You know, the crowd was obviously with it the whole time. It had a lot of good heat to it. Gunther would get booed, Jay would get cheered. You know, and obviously the big moment at the end where Jay gets the win, like the free Uso splashes, it actually did pop me. You know, finally getting the free Uso splashes, that did pop me. But I saw a lot of people very, very negative on the finish of Jay. Like I said, Jay was using a lot of Gunther's moves to beat Gunther. Then eventually the finale, the coffin was after the free Uso splashes, gets him in a rear naked choke, and Gunther taps out to Jey Uso, bro. And the visual of that, I get it, bro. Like I get it. Like that is a crazy visual and a crazy sentence that just came out of my mouth. You know what I'm saying? But you know, some people, I do think some people have been a little dramatic about it because it's just like, Gunther's going to be okay, bro. And obviously they wanted to make the moment as impactful as possible. Is it the finish I would have done? Nah. I would have just done the free Uso splashes and probably would have just done the free Uso splashes, bro. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I wasn't a fan of it, but I didn't think it was like crash out material because I thought Gunther did what he needed to do in this match. And I'd be a bit more worried if I was like concerned that Gunther would like drop down the card or some shit now. You know, and they've done that finish that makes him look not as strong as you'd like to see Gunther be presented. And obviously there would be kind of like a worry then that might be like a reoccurring trend. But I think they were just really trying to make this moment as like significant as possible, you know. And so I don't really have too many like worries about it. But it was a crazy visual, and it isn't the finish I would have booked in that way. But Jay obviously had to win this. Been saying this the whole time. And yeah, man, the moment with Jimmy coming out at the end, it was really cool and heartwarming. But the match I really wanted this match to be good, bro. But it just wasn't what I wanted it to be. So, Rob, where are you? What you want to add?
All right. I didn't hate the match as much as everybody else did.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think it was going to be some sort of 5-star classic. I was hoping it was going to be. Like, not saying that I was hoping Jay was going to bust out some fucking moves that we've never seen before. You know what I mean? And like all that kind of shit. But I wanted the Saturday Night's main event match, but a different kind of level of violence to it. Like somebody said in the chat, I don't remember who it was, but both men did promise blood, and we didn't get. It was Rosho. He said promise blood from both guys, and we got none. And like that's true. We got promised blood from both men. We didn't get any blood at all whatsoever. So that annoyed me. Because Gunther, nigga, you're not doing any movies anytime soon, nigga. Blade. So like, yeah, like I don't know, run the blade or do a blood packet. I don't care. Just do one of them. But that was annoying. And then we go into the match, and like I love the violence in the match from Gunther. Like he did beat the shit out of Jey Uso, but not to the extent that he should have he should have beat him to the extent that he beat Jimmy. Like to the extent that kind of to the extent that he beat Jimmy. But I did like the match. I liked the match a lot more than everybody else did. But I do the finish though. I didn't really like the way they did the finish. I feel like I don't have a necessary problem with the Gunther tapping because, as somebody pointed out on Twitter, that's kind of his weakness. Like him getting put in a submission is kind of his weakness. It happened with Ilya Dragunov, and I know you're comparing Ilya Dragunov to Jey Uso. I don't give a fuck. Cry. It's the same concept. I feel like Gunther should have tried to get the one upper hand on him after the 3 splashes, and then Jay should have countered into something, beat him up one more time, and then put on the splash. I mean the super, because that's what Ilya did. Ilya beat the fuck out of him to the extent to where when he finally did put on the rear naked choke, that's when he finally tapped out. Like he hit him with like 3 different torpedo Moscows to the back of the head and kept chopping him in the back of the fucking neck. And so like I feel like that finish was the right finish, but it was executed the wrong way. So, but all in all, I did like Jay getting his moment. It was inevitable that Jey getting his moment. I don't know why anybody's crashing out on the timeline like Roman Reigns would let his fucking cousin lose at WrestleMania after all the work he did to build him up to this point. So, but yeah, no.
Yeah, I didn't get people who were like, honestly, like, if you don't want to see Jey Uso as your world champion, like I can get that, bro. Like again, I'm not blind to these things, you know what I'm saying? But the idea that like people were actually saying that like Gunther should win is like, what? Like, have you watched any of the TV?
Yeah, it was kind of just like the finish was like mad random. It was just like, what? Like, oh, like
Yeah,
he did that. He taps out like that. No, because he tapped out fast to Ilya, but it was like it wasn't as the like I said, the submission execution wasn't as violent as Ilya's was.
Yeah, man. So obviously, Rob probably a little bit higher on it than I am, but at the same time, I don't think it was a terrible match, but it disappointed me. You know, like
Yeah.
I wanted more. I wanted more, and the layout just didn't. I kept getting frustrated because it was like, you know, like Gunther would hit like, I don't know, one of his cool drop kicks or some shit. Yeah, and I'd think, all right, this is it now. Gunther's about to beat this guy down. You get me? And then Jey would hit a move, like Jey would hit a counter like 2 moves later, you know, and he would just be like, fuck, when are we gonna settle into the heat, man? But anyway, Jey's our world champion. Shout out Jey, I love Jey also, bro. So I will be rooting for him to have good matches and good creative during this title reign.
No, good creative.
Anyway,
man.
right, next match on the card was the tag title match. New Day win number 12 from the War Raiders. Decent little match, to be honest, bro. Nothing overly special, which in itself, even though it wasn't a terrible match, I can see why fans would have hoped for a lot more, you know, especially with the New Days. Ever since like the New Day did that huge angle with Big E a few months ago, but with this, it's like, obviously, the assumption is that when they did that big angle with Big E, there was a hope that maybe there will be some Big E involvement. And when it became clear that he couldn't do any involvement, really, the New Day were kind of just left floating creatively. So they were put into this creative, and now they're 12-time champions. And maybe they probably would have been 12-time champions at Mania anyway, but there would have been like more juice to the story getting there, you know. But yeah, like things just didn't kind of fall into place for them. So I do kind of understand the disappointment in wanting, kind of hoping that angle would have led to something a lot more significant, you know. But and it still might, you know, it still might one day. Things might fall into place one day, and I hope it does. You get me? But this was kind of just a match that happened. I thought, Rob, where are you?
Yeah, it was a really like, and I hate saying this about a New Day match at WrestleMania. It felt like a Raw match on a WrestleMania, which is funny because they had a Raw match like 2 weeks ago. But like it felt like a Raw match on WrestleMania. Ibu was definitely right in the terms of like it should have been a pirate ship match or some sort of plunder match, but I hate this philosophy that WWE has that you can't do too many plunder matches. I don't care. Like some matches call for plunder matches. Like that's what annoyed me about the 6-man tag and stand and deliver yesterday. I just watched these all 6 of these guys try to kill each other on Tuesday, and now I'm watching
in the parking lot.
Yeah, now I'm watching that. Tag me.
The cinematic parking lot match they did on Tuesday.
That was cool. That was gas. Like they just whooped each other's ass for like 5 minutes, and then they go to NXT Stand and Deliver, and it's like tag me. So it's like, what are we doing? But yeah, that match was not good. And I don't know.
Well, yeah, man. All right, let's. I've got 2 super chats, so I'm just gonna bang them out real quick before we get to the rest of the card. Leo Fox 499. Not one was a very soft 6 for me. Lackluster matches, low energy, and lack of Mania feeling like Mania. Too much focus on odd PR and shots at AEW. Yeah, man. Black Yakuza 94 for $1. Seth, he's snatching that title from Jey within a month, isn't he? He might, bro. And I know I just said I want Jey to have a good creative and have a nice little do good stuff right now. But I wouldn't be super against Jey dropping super soon. You know, as long as it's not some like horseshit wrestle crap.
Yeah, like that's what wrestling is all about anyway. It's about the chase. It's not about the reign. It's about the chase.
Especially for characters like Jey, bro. So I won't be mad at him having a really short reign.
The Rock has never had, I don't think, a WWE Championship run over 100 days.
Sounds about right, to be honest, bro. All of his reigns combined come to something like ridiculously small, you know. But anyway, okay, so next match on the card was Naomi versus Jade Cargill, and I'll be honest, bro. I felt like this delivered what it needed to in that moment. Naomi guided Jade through a watchable match like a pro, you know. And then there was some cool big spots sprinkled throughout, you know, like Jade the catch suplex, the big powerbomb thing at the end. Jade gets a win, which I think she had to. I get people wanting Naomi to win because she's killed it so much in this heel role that she's been in. She's a better wrestler, you know. But with the way they've told this story, Jade losing here would have made it look crazy. They couldn't have done it. I'm interested to see what they have next for both women, especially Naomi, because like I just said, she's been so good as a heel. Actually, very invested in seeing where this goes for her. Hope she continues to be in featured prominent positions. And yeah, I think she deserves something good, bro. But I thought this match was pretty inoffensive considering how like this could have been a disaster, bro. Let's be real. Like, let's be real. Like, this could have been a disaster, you know, and it wasn't. So
yeah.
So where are you at, Rob? Because I know.
Okay. I want to clarify. I want to clarify with what I said last night. Maybe I was a bit too harsh. Okay, I said. I just found it. I said never seen a more one person is clearly working around the other performance. Naomi needs more than a steak dinner after having to carry that to a 1.5, which was very harsh. I'll be honest.
That is harsh.
It was more like a 2.5. But you would think with all that time off, you would think you'd come back better than before. But yeah, stop posting training clips when they're clearly not being applied in the ring. And what I meant by that was, bro,
that's just me.
Like some people said, right? Some people said last night, and it's not, guys. I don't hate like Jade. I don't have an agenda against Jade Cargill. I don't hate Jade Cargill. My issue is, and my aggravation is, right? It's all the whining and complaining from Jade Cargill. Let's really talk about it. A lot of wrestlers that have been wrestling as long as or shorter than Jade Cargill doesn't get the same amount of grace that Jade Cargill does when she's been doing this for 5 years. She's been doing this for 5 years. Her first match was in 2020. She's been doing this for 5 years.
When you say grace,
what I mean.
Do you mean from like the office or do you mean from fans?
Not even from the office. I mean from fans, bro. Like she doesn't get the same. A lot of people that have been wrestling for like 2 years, 3 years don't get the same amount of grace that she does. It's just like she's out there and Naomi's having to lead her through spots and Naomi's having to guide her through spots. And I know Naomi's like the 10-year veteran or whatever, but she's like, it's getting to a point where she has to like literally physically move her into another spot. And it's just like, and I'm watching this and I'm just like this does not look crazy. And then people are still saying, well, she still needs to get better. She's not as good. Motherfucker, she's been doing this 5 years. Like at this point, why does she get more grace than a lot of other wrestlers get? It's not like I have an agenda against her. I don't hate her as a person or a human being. I could give a fuck about her as a human being to me because this is just wrestling. But it's just like, bro, she's not good and she's not getting better, and it's okay. But it's just like, dude, I mean, like exactly like we complain about Hook and Julia Hart every week, but Jade does not get the same amount of complaint. It's she's getting better when she's clearly botching spots. She's getting better, or she just needs more work and more time when she's clearly botching spots and fucking up springboards and she's out there and Naomi has to move. Y'all talking about Charlotte had to move Tiffany Stratton and guide her into another spot. I'm watching Naomi physically doing that with Jade Cargill. And it's just like, dude, that match was good, but it was not because of her. Naomi, there was spots where you could literally tell Naomi, you know what I compared it to, Monty? You know how when you got an older wrestler, right, that's physically immobile, like not physically immobile. I'm not going to say she's physically immobile, but it's like they aren't as mobile as they used to be. So the kind of younger wrestler has to kind of move around them in a certain manner to kind of like make the match seem better than what it is, be better than what it has to be. That's what it was last night. And I'm not the only one that was saying this. I'm not the only one that has been saying these things about. Y'all act like I'm the only one that's been saying these things about Jade Cargill. There are people who were fans of Jade Cargill when she got to WWE that are saying the same thing as me. So it's not that I have an agenda against Jade Cargill. It's not like I hate Jade Cargill's fucking guts and want her to die. There's other people in the business that I actually do. I'm not going to name them because I don't want to get shot. But yeah, that's the point. Do I want Jade Cargill to get better and improve? Like, yeah, sure. But I'm not about to sit here and sugarcoat it and act like she's doing the best work of her life or anything, or she's better than what she used, or not used to be, but she's better than she is, because she's not. She's just not, and it's okay. People will be like, Rob's hate of Jade Cargill is weird. Rob's very weird about Jade Cargill. I criticize her the same way I criticize a lot of other people. White or black. So
where did that come from?
Yeah, I see some niggas being like, "Oh, Rob is very." I was like, "What the fuck? Like, what are we talking about here? Like, what are we actually?" It's not. That's another thing they do, Monty. When you sit here and you criticize Jade Cargill, a lot of people that like they used to do that when she was in AEW. When you used to criticize her, they used to be like, "Oh, you're being anti-black." No, it has nothing to do with her being black. Like that has nothing. It's like when you criticize Effie, and then the first thing people could say is you're homophobic. It has nothing to do with Effie being gay, bro. He just sucks. And like that's what it is with Jade Cargill. It has nothing to do with the fact that she's a woman. She's just not that good. So Lash has gotten better than Jade and less time as a wrestler. It's not even about comparing a black woman to another black woman. Lash has been doing this shorter than Jade Cargill has.
Okay, this is what I'll say. I think since she signed for WWE, I think Jade has she's lost quite a bit of size, and I do think she has got a little better in ring. I don't think it's been like significant. I don't think she's quite where she needs to be just yet. But what I will say is that, to your point of saying like she's been doing this for 5 years, you know, and it's not. I'm not going to make excuses for her because, like I just said, I don't think she's quite where she needs to be. But yeah, she's been doing this for 5 years. But into for example, like the Lash Legend example, Lash Legend's been doing 5 years in the PC, bro. You know, that's every day. Going training, bang, 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 bang for 5 years. That's what Lash Legend's been on basically. Jade Cargill, she started in AEW, so it's a little bit different. And I think the with AEW talents, when they're starting from square one in AEW or very close to square one in AEW, like your Julia Harts, your Hooks, and Jade, like the three people that were mentioned, it's like they ain't going to be able to make progress at the same rate as someone who's signed to the PC, going to the PC every single day, because like AEW just doesn't have the structure in place to build talents up from like square one like that. You know what I mean?
But
so
the
like
thing is,
that 5 years that Jade has been wrestling, how like 3 years of it was like very like, it's not like she was in 24/7 training like she is now, you know. And like I said, she's still not where she needs to be. So I don't want to come across like I'm making excuses for her, but I do think like when you look at it from like, when you add the context of like how WWE bring up their like PC talents and stuff, and how AEW kind of develop their talents, it's like someone like Jade who did start off in AEW is not going to be at the same point 3 years in than like
yeah,
a
no,
PC talent is 3
and,
years in.
And I know that, but the thing is what I'm saying is, another thing is too, it's like you don't like the comments about you care more about Instagram or Hollywood than you do about actually wrestling. But it's like, my nigga, I hear about you more in the Bahamas or on the pictures that you post than I do about you in the PC. Actually getting better and working on your craft. And it's just like, you don't like the accusations of you only care about Hollywood and that's why you're doing this, but you're not showing any real improvement. And it's just like, dude, Naomi shouldn't have to do all the work in the biggest match of her career at WrestleMania. So it's not like I don't hate Jade Cargill. I don't have no type of agenda against her. I just wish like she would actually show that she cares and that she's trying to get better at the craft that she's trying to get better at. It's not showing at all.
Yeah, she's still got ways to go. You know, I do think there's a good chance that she will get there. Obviously, again, to like kind of her getting more leeway from people. So like, obviously, her like, compared to like a Hook or a Julia Hart or somebody like that. I know it's a different company, or you can pick someone out from like NXT or whatever. It's like obviously Jade has the X Factor thing, which is her look. You know, it's like no one else in the world looks like fucking Jade Cargill. So it's like she's going to get some leeway in that regard. So. You know, but like I said, I'm interested to see, especially in Naomi coming out of this, seeing what they got for her. Jade, of course, it'll be interesting to see how creative handle her, because again, she's not quite where she needs to be in ring, but you know, she's here now. She's on the main roster. She's just had a fucking WrestleMania singles match that she won, so you're already at the dance now, you know. So, but yeah, next match, LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu for the United States Championship. I thought this was a very, very solid, good match, bro. Honestly, you could say that. I'll tell you, you could argue that this over-delivered, bro. It's a kind of a tough one, though, because not a lot of people were kind of, like, down on it beforehand or particularly up on it. It's just one of those matches that was just kind of slotted into the mid-card, I guess. And it's like everyone knew what the result was going to be with Jacob Fatu winning and stuff. But even going into it, bro, I was talking to Ibu about this earlier on. It's like not many people caught onto it or were saying much about it. But, bro, LA Knight cut a real professional wrestling promo on Friday about Jacob Fatu in this match, bro.
Yes.
He's He ticks a lot of boxes for me, bro. LA Knight, you know, he's just pro wrestling. He's just a pro wrestler, bro. Like, I know that sounds dumb, but like his promos are very classic pro wrestler. The way he works, it's very kind of like, it's very polished, but you know, he's just a pro wrestler, bro. You know, he throws punches. He does his moves are kind of like he's just a professional, bro. You know. He'll pull out a little high spot here and there that'll make you be like, whoa, you know, he's got a little something in his locker when you're not expecting it as well.
He's
like that BFT counter from the double moonsault, bro. That was
that
fire.
BFT counter
You know,
was
he can do the high spots and the big
so
spots,
fire,
bro.
bro.
But he's got very good fundamentals and a good understanding of just the game in general, bro. Like, I'm a big fan of LA Knight, and like I said, this was a good match, and it had some really cool high spots in it. Jacob Fatu is just Jacob Fatu is a force of nature, bro. Like, he's just different with it. I thought it was actually really cool as well. But Biggie on the post show gave him that shout out about, like, you know, it's always kind of shooting, bro. He was just like, listen, the company. I always felt like the company was trying to position as Solo Sikoa as the guy, but Jacob Fatu was just completely undeniable, bro. Like, he's the man, you know. So, and that's how I feel as well, bro. That's how a lot of people feel. So, Jacob Fatu, United States champion, will probably be the first of many singles titles that guy wins. And LA Knight, man, a very, very, very good account of himself. As always, because he's not looked at as like an in-ring guy. When he goes in there and he has these big opportunities, big matches with decent work as well, when he has good matches, he does kind of, people are like, yo, LA Knight's nice. Because he is, bro. He's nice with it, bro. So, I like this, Rob. Did you like this?
I really did like this. And the thing about this match that really intrigued me was how these two styles were going to mesh, because they've never really interacted outside. Obviously, like, LA Knight was on the Indies for a really long time, and he was on the Indies when Jacob Fatu just started on the Indies. So I really was surprised that they had never interacted before in the ring. But when we got to this match, the thing that I most appreciate about this match, first of all, LA Knight is getting a really good track record at WrestleMania with his last two performances. The match last year with AJ Styles was really good, and this match with Jacob Fatu was just as good. But it's just like, Jacob Fatu, for whatever reason, has not really gotten too many singles opportunities in WWE. He's gotten the Braun matches. He got the Andrade match, sure, but he didn't have. For whatever reason, he never faced Kevin Owens. For whatever reason, he never really faced Randy. For whatever reason, he never really faced a lot of people on SmackDown that you expected him to face since he got to SmackDown. And this match with LA Knight on the big stage, where he got to show that he could actually hang with the kind of, like, and LA Knight's not a top dog. Like, he's not a main eventer, but he got to show that he could hang with someone that the universe, the fan base really likes. And that's why I feel like this was a really good showcase for him. And the fact that, and he went out there and showed out. He showed why it's not just a Fatu thing. It's not just a Samoan family thing or Samoan mind control. He showed that the Samoan mind control. He showed that he really does deserve to be here at wrestling in WWE and wrestling at WrestleMania. So,
yeah, man, good shit. And obviously, happy for Jacob Fatu, bro. Man's been saying for years, like, man's have known for years the level of talent he is, A lot of us were kind of very doubtful he'll ever get this opportunity, because of the reasons that they now happily tell us on commentary, bro. Like, yo, he's a felon, you know what I mean? He's done time in prison, he's done this, he's done that, bro. He's got a very checkered past, Jacob Fatu, you get me? So, and there was always kind of like rumors like, oh, he's never going to get signed to WWE because of X or because of Y or because of Z, and it's like, those rumors were floating around for a long time, bro. And then they eventually made the move and they signed him. And like I said, like, even those little tidbits on commentary, like WWE being happy to be like, yo, this guy, he was in Penn, like that. Like, they'll tell you happily, and I feel like a few years ago, a lot of us would never expect that. So I'm very happy to see Jacob Fatu get in his position. His talent more than deserves. He's only going to go further than this as well. Like, this is not his peak. And yeah, man, just cool to see this shit, bro. He's been on a journey. And yeah, LA Knight, like I just said, he's giving me his flowers, man. He's a fucking good professional wrestler, bro, in all aspects. Excuse me. All right, next match was Rey Phoenix, who was replacing the unfortunately injured Rey Mysterio. Got injured on SmackDown. I believe it was a groin injury. But yeah, he announced earlier in the day that he couldn't get medically cleared, but he would be replaced by their newly signed Rey Phoenix. And yeah, man, cool to see Rey Phoenix obviously get like thrown into this spot. I could imagine that it would have been like slightly surreal for him, to like walk out in front of that stadium like, yo, I'm on WrestleMania, and I wasn't on WrestleMania yesterday. Them ones like you just get thrown in there. And he did his thing, man. Like, they only went like 8 minutes. El Grande Americano. He actually had. We was talking about entrances. He had I guess, quote, special entrance. They what's it called? The mariachi. Am I saying that right? He had like a mariachi band, and they had like the I don't know, the stereotype filter.
The fucking Breaking Bad in Mexico filter, like.
So they did that. But yeah, like I said, cool to see Rey kind of get this position, even though obviously he unfortunately had to take a loss. But it's a story to tell, and it's kind of a weird one. I'm neither here or there on it because of the situation, the circumstances. I'm not really going to get mad about him losing. But yeah, man, they did. I thought they kind of showed out with the 8 minutes that they had. Could this have gone a little bit longer? Yeah, I do think it could have. I saw a lot of people kind of complaining about the match times. And Rob, you know me well enough to know that I am not against not every match going fucking 20 minutes. I don't need that in my life, So like when someone posted this, like, this is a joke, and all the matches were kind of like 10 minutes, 11 minutes and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, man, that looks sweet. That looks good to me, like on paper, except for this one, which came in at like under 8 minutes, I think. And I think even on paper, you could have given these two like 12 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least.
Yeah.
So, but with the 8 minutes that they had a really good match. Fucking, I was about to say Chad Gable, but yeah, Chad Gable, Americano, whatever you want to call him. He bust out a double moonsault, bro. Like, I don't know what.
Bro, he almost, bro. If he looked like if he wanted to hit a double moonsault, he could have. But it was the old fucking moonsault senton that Scorpio used to do. That Tuco Scorpio used to do. It was, yo, Chad Gable, bro. Listen, I like that match a lot more than a lot of people did. But Chad Gable went out there and he knew it was his first real singles WrestleMania match, and he was like, "Man, I'm going out there and going crazy."
He's a beast, man. So, but yeah, we liked it, didn't we, Rob? It was a good little match.
Yeah. I
It's what it needed to be.
I didn't think it was going to be some 15-minute spectacle. Obviously, if Rain was out there, it would have been a lot longer, I think. I would have loved to see Dragon Lee more in this spot, I guess. But Rey Phoenix, I guess it was to show Rey Phoenix's first spot. But this kind of defeats the Nick Khan's point of not benching people. Dragon Lee's kind of been on the main roster for 2 years, and this
he's
is
not benched though. Like,
he's not benched.
When we say bench, we're talking like Omos.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? We're talking or even Alexa Bliss, bro. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's who I'd class as like benched.
Well, Alexa Bliss doesn't have to be benched; she chooses to be benched. But that's a whole different story.
No. We're not doing Alexa like that, bro. Not on my show.
She has a choice. She wants to continue with the Scooby Doo gang. So, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, no, I would have really loved to see Dragon Lee in this position. I feel like he earned it a lot more than Rey Phoenix did. And I feel like if you want to present Lucha Libre in the way that you're talking about presenting Lucha Libre since you acquired AAA, I feel like giving Dragon Lee that spot would have shown that you cared, because this is not the first time that you took an opportunity away from Dragon Lee. You took it away from him last year because you got Andrade, and you just threw Andrade in that spot because you got him from AEW. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair for the women's championship, the WWE Women's Championship, and Tiffany Stratton defeated the Queen Charlotte Flair, which honestly did catch me by surprise. I actually liked a lot about this match, to be brutally honest with you guys. Whilst understanding a lot of the criticisms, I liked a lot about this match, whilst also understanding a lot of the criticisms that I saw about it. You know, it wasn't super smooth. It didn't all go to plan. I think even Charlotte and Tiffany at different points got the spots a little bit mixed up, and but there was a ruggedness to it, bro. The crowd was into it. There was a physicality to it. There was a genuine competitive spirit to the match, bro. And whilst the match itself wasn't the smoothest watch, you know, it had a spirit to it. And when Tiffany finally overcome Charlotte, that's what it felt like, bro. That is what it felt like. She was battered, but she came out of it with the belt, still the champion. And I was happy for her in that moment. So there was things that I liked about this match. A lot of us thought that Tiffany chipped a tooth, but if you look carefully, it did more look like she got a bit of blood on her tooth, and it looked like it was chips. But clearly her teeth weren't chipped, because when she done the post-show interview thing, she was full set of teeth, all cleaned up and stuff. But yeah, she's quite battered, bro. A few marks on both women, you know, a few bumps and bruises, a little kind of speckle of blood here and there, you know. But like I said, Tiffany retained, huge moment for her, and I actually liked quite a lot about this match, bro. So I don't know if that's a hot take, but what you saying to me, Rob? Charlotte, Tiffany, what you make of it?
No, let's be honest with ourselves here, guys. This match was not good. At least I didn't think so. I was trying. Now, don't get me wrong, Monty. I was watching. I was locked in. I was trying. I was hoping that they had a good match. And I know Tiffany Stratton's not the perfect wrestler already, or whatever the case may be. Like, she still has a lot of left, not a lot of work to do. But she still has, ways to get there. But guys, we got another outstanding soundboard going off.
Oh no!
And it's time to throw up the outstanding for Charlotte Flair, man. Listen, I don't want to say this, and it's not because I have an agenda. But she hurt her knee, and she clearly I think she needs to get more reps in with this hurt knee. We're coming back off this knee injury. I think it's what it is. I'm not going to say she fully sucks now after the knee injury, but I do think she needs to wrestle a lot more to get back into the rhythm of wrestling with that bum knee. Bro, they were both really bad. I saw people being like, Tiffany, like I said earlier, Charlotte had to lead Tiffany through the match. They were both really bad in that match. Like, they were both really bad. Charlotte was messing up spots. Tiffany was messing up spots. Charlotte was falling all over the place. Tiffany was falling all over the place. I'm not going to say it was below a 3. That's what I would give, because that's what I would give it, a 3 1/4. But dude, it was just it was way underwhelming to what I had it at, and I just think Charlotte needs to if she can't do the athletic stuff anymore, because that moonsault is dead. I hope y'all know that moonsault is dead. The moonsault to the outside, corkscrew moonsault to the outside, dead. But yeah, so she needs to just, what she needs to do, Monty? She needs to adjust her style to a way that fits her hurt knee. So she kind of can't do those athletic things anymore. She can kind of tweak her style to something that works for her. So
I think with Charlotte, as far as Charlotte goes, as long as she avoids injury and she just stay around and the schedule's kind of somewhat regular, I think that will come with her being around a bit more because, even like physically and size wise, she's changed quite a bit. She's gone through this knee injury now. She's obviously wrestling in a brace and stuff, so that's always going to take a little bit of an adjustment period. But again, like I said, I completely understand like a lot of the criticisms that most people and even Rob's just had of the match, but it's like like I said, there was just kind of like a rugged spirit to it. I just liked, bro. I'm not going to sit up here and say it was like a 4.5-star match or anything, but it's just like I will say that I liked it though, and that's the beauty of wrestling, fam. You get me? It's subjective. We like things, we don't like things, but at least we can explain them. You know what I'm saying? So that was the women's title match. Like I said, Tiffany getting the win, huge win for her, biggest win of her career, comfortably. And then, of course, Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns versus CM Punk with Paul Heyman. This was Paul Heyman fulfilling CM Punk's favour that he was owed after CM Punk had been the 5th man in the Roman Reigns Survivor Series team. And guys, you lot know how much I just fucking hate triple threat matches, multi-mans, just getting in the way of my glorious non-stipulation singles matches, But I'll always give them a chance, especially on an occasion like this. It's the WrestleMania main event. 3 top guys, people that I'm invested in. And I'll be honest, bro, like I honestly thought this was as good as a WWE WrestleMania triple threat main event in the 2020s could possibly be, if that makes sense. The pace and the energy of it was really good. All 3 guys are obviously crazy over, which helped the match as well. They also, I felt like they avoided the match falling into the multi-man trope of it's my turn to do a move now. I'm gonna go on the outside, and it's your turn now, and it's my turn now. It never felt like it fell into that. It all felt connected, and that's not to say that like nobody chilled on the outside or anything for any part of it, or anything like that. But the whole match was like it felt cohesive, And going into this match, I think a lot of us were just kind of waiting for the Heyman drama, not really buying anything until the Heyman drama. But in the stadium, bro, when they started all the finisher spams before the Heyman drama, the people are biting on every near fall, bro. They're loving it. They're biting on every near fall, bro. It's crazy.
I was biting on every near fall.
It was going crazy in there. So there was some mild cinema as well before the Heyman stuff, like teasing the Shield powerbomb and shit like that, And then before that, and then after that, we go into like full theater mode, Heyman drama, which, like I said, in a 2020s WrestleMania main event with Roman Reigns, like we're getting some cinema, And were some of the cutscenes a little bit too long and a little over the top? Like, yeah, of course they were, but they all worked in the building, and it wasn't anything disgusting. You know what I'm saying? Like the Shield powerbomb thing, bro. Like when Roman Reigns is fully like conflicted and he's like crouching down, like what am I gonna do? Like it was like a little bit much. But when he flicked that switch and he was like, "Fuck it, let's go Shield mode," and he just starts going on a mad one, and then he does the swerve where he hits Seth instead of hitting the powerbomb, and he's just on one. Like it kind of made it worth it, But like I said, then they go full theater, and that's like when we get like the 3 big reactions, 3 big happenings, which was Heyman getting the chair and then deciding to slide it to Punk instead of Roman. And then he slides it to Punk, and as Punk is about to hit Roman with the chair, Heyman hits him with a low blow. Huge reactions to that as well. Roman picks up the chair, does his business to CM Punk, takes him out with the chair and stuff. Heyman's loving all this. Heyman then spots Seth Rollins. He's climbing himself up the ropes, kind of similar to like, the Shield spot, bro. Like Seth standing there, perfect position. Roman's got chair in hand. You get me? You're like, okay, then Roman, you know what Roman's gonna do here. He can't resist that. So he can't resist that opportunity. We seen it at Mania last year. So Roman's lining up Seth. He's about to hit him in the back with the chair, and this fucking pagan Paul Heyman, he snakes Roman Reigns as well, bro. So he hits him with a low blow. Roman Reigns is in disbelief, pain, can't believe what's going on. Paul Heyman has sided with Seth freaking Rollins. Don't know the reasoning behind this. I'm sure we'll find out, but definitely a big swerve, shock. Even though they did hint at it a couple times throughout the TV, I'd still definitely class this as a big swerve and shock, because of course, bro, it's like in kayfabe. It's like I know Paul Heyman's Paul Heyman. He's a Weasley fucking untrustworthy guy, but it's like he has been absolutely infatuated, in love with his tribal chief, bro. But obviously there's always been kind of that little bit of loyalty shown to CM Punk, and they've really played on him being his genuine best friend, blah, 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 blah. So it's like, what reason would he really have for picking Seth Rollins out over those two, So it's like, we'll wait and see. This this is one of those angles where, like, I think instinctually, I kind of don't want to like it because of those reasons I just said. It's like, why? What sense does it make for Paul Heyman to pick Seth over those two specifically? You know, but I am willing to let it play out, bro. That old trope, that old cliche. I'm willing to hit the let it play out pass on this one because I'm willing to let Paul Heyman convince me that this is a good thing. You get me? And obviously, Seth turning heel could be like a catalyst for like bigger things as well. So,
I didn't tweet it out, but I kind of I wrote up an explanation.
Okay,
I didn't tweet it out.
before you give your thoughts, or if you want to give your thoughts first, whatever order you want to do it in, bro.
Oh, go ahead.
I say, give your thoughts on the match, and then do that after. We'll do that now.
I
give your thoughts on the match after. Up to you.
I thought, yo, this was great. I texted Monty. I said, yo, this might get a 5 on the spreadsheet. I was like, yeah, this might get a 5 on the spreadsheet. And I was like, it'll turn into a 4 3/4 on rewatch. But yo, this was crazy. I knew a match between these three was gonna be really good. I wasn't like everybody else. I was like, they were like, oh my god, I'm scared about this 3-way, bro. It might be really bad, bro. It might be really bad. I was like, no. It's Roman Reigns, it's Seth Rollins, it's CM Punk. It's in the main event of WrestleMania. Everybody says what they want about Roman Reigns, but the last three not the last three. No, last three main events, because he had 2 main events last year and then he had 1 the year before. The last 3 main events have shown you anything. That when Roman Reigns is in the main event of WrestleMania, he does try because he knows WrestleMania is the biggest stage. Yeah, he might not try at SummerSlam. Yeah, he might not try at Survivor Series. He might not try at fucking Payback, because who would? But he will try at WrestleMania. And that's what he did last night. I thought I could comfortably say he was the best performer in the match last night, and people wouldn't call me a dick rider because everybody's been saying it. I agree. I thought he had great. More intensity than Seth Rollins and CM Punk did. He went out there and like, bro, it was like we were watching like 2010's Roman Reigns in the Tribal Chief's body. Like, it was crazy. Like, he was doing the drive. He did the drive by again. He was out there fucking. He did like when they did the shield, the fake shield powerbomb spot. He was like, no, actually, fuck you both. And he hit him with like, it wasn't like a shitty looking powerbomb. It was like an intense, like, this is pretty, like, I'm into this powerbomb. And so, like, when CM Punk did well, I can admit it. CM Punk did well in the match last night. Like, he hit his spots very well. But I think the second best performer in the match was Seth Rollins, because Seth Rollins had something to prove. I know it's CM Punk's first main event and everything, but Seth Rollins is kind of like the most looked down upon out of the three, if that makes any sense, Monty. Where it's like people think he's a fake demon. You know what I mean? They make the fake demon mount a meme, and they'd be like, people don't really like believe in Seth as much as they do the others. And so I felt like he really had something to go out there and prove last night with this main event, and he really showed out. My thing with this main event and the ending of this main event is, I guess I'll read it off here. I won't read it off. I'll give it off the top of my head because I don't care. I paid it. Listen, Monty, as bad as the segments were going into this WrestleMania, right? As underwhelming as the segments might have been, I read between the lines and I knew it was going to happen, because you know why? What they kept saying, Monty? Seth Rollins pointed out 2 things. Number one, he pointed out that CM Punk didn't really want anything to do with Paul Heyman until, besides like the one time they interacted in Chicago, until War Games came, and he knew he could get something out of Paul Heyman. Number 2, Seth Rollins also pointed out that neither Roman Reigns nor CM Punk came to save him. And remember, when they were in MSG, oh no, MSG was before SummerSlam, never mind. But nonetheless, Punk was already back trying to go to SummerSlam and wrestle at SummerSlam, and he returned multiple times. And Punk and Roman both let Heyman get massacred in front of his family by the Samoans and the Samoans and the Tongans in Madison Square Garden in front of his family. And so when he pointed that out to me, I was thinking about it. And then it was also the segment they did on SmackDown with Roman Reigns kept telling Paul Heyman, I made you relevant again. I made you relevant again. He kept basically belittling him while trying to like be like, yo, you need to pick me over him. And so it was just like, when I thought about those things as Rollins was bringing up and when Roman was saying those things, I was like, fuck, they're going to do it. And I didn't think they were going to do it at first, but then, do you know what told me they were going to do it, Monty?
What told you that they were going to do it?
When he gives Roman the chair, Monty, and he goes, Roman, look, the shield. And I was like, no. I was like, fuck. I was like, don't, no, because he knows. If anybody knows Roman Reigns better than Roman Reigns, better than his cousins, better than his family, it's Paul Heyman. And what does Paul Heyman know, Monty? Paul Heyman knows that Roman Reigns is his biggest weakness in the entire world, his kryptonite, the thing that makes him tick, is the shield. And so when you tie all that into the ending of the main event, I know a lot of people don't like cinema. Let's be real here, guys. We started the cinema shit here in the WWE. All right, the cinema started with us, and we've been great at it for 20 years. We've been great at it for 25 years, and we're great at it now. So I really enjoyed that main event. It was better than I thought it was going to be. I knew it was going to be great, but it was way better than I thought it was going to be. Finisher spam good. I know AO was I'm not one of the fans AO was talking about, guys. When he was talking about WWE, I love when Will Ospreay does it. I love it when it's done here. I don't give a fuck. Be a finisher spam good. And you know what I hate it? I hate it when it's like we're 45 minutes into a match and we've already done like 10 finishers and you're still kicking it. Then it's like, okay, whoa, slow down. Unless it's Johnny Gargano. Keep doing what you're doing, kid. You're doing great. But yeah, no. So yeah, I loved all of that, and I understood the story that they're trying to tell, and I can't wait for Monday for them to tell that story, bro. I can't wait.
Yeah, like I said, I'm very much in the position of like let it play out, which obviously is hilarious when you think about like how that phrase has been used in wrestling fandom the past few years. But when it comes to this big of an angle with talents involved, like fucking Paul Heyman, who I'm gonna trust to explain this to me, you know, I'm willing to play that let it play out card, you get me? So a very strong finish to WrestleMania, which was a very up and down show to say the least, you know. But like I said, the biggest part of the show, the most important part of the show that you need to get right, they did get right, and in a big way as well, because like I said, that triple threat main event was probably as good as they get in WWE WrestleMania setting, you know, like a WrestleMania triple threat main event in the 2020s, you know, like I can't see them really doing anything better than what they did last night, you know. So, shout out to them for at least not sticking a landing last night, you know.
Yeah, because it came off really embarrassing, but it
100%, bro.
The crowd could have not understood what the fuck was going on at all. But I felt like it was the way they executed it, they got the right reaction that they wanted to get from the fans, and that's all that matters really at the end of the day. So
yeah, they milked it really good, bro. Like I said, I went through them, but like, they got like 5 huge reactions out of it. You know, it's like Heyman made like 4 decisions that got massive pops, you know. So like they did what they had to do, you know. Really good shit, bro.